Sales approval processes are absolutely necessary, especially if you have a software that can be customized, because you need to make sure that each and every deal is at the advantage of the company, but also it can be technically delivered, right? So it's technically feasible. Now, it's very important to get it right, because on the other hand, you could also end up in a trap, meaning that you have a process that is so complex that nothing gets approved, and then your revenues are plunging. So based on my experience, there are 4 factors that you need to consider. So first of all, who really needs to be involved in the decision-making process? If you find out that you have a decision-making process involving multiple stakeholders, but when you interview them, it turns out that they are all waiting for one key stakeholder to weigh in before they actually render their verdict, guess what? You don't need all of these stakeholders. You only need one. Second thing is that you need to have a defined set of inputs that you need to require your sales team to provide, meaning traditional sales and also sales engineers, obviously. It cannot be fully infinitely extensionable, meaning that it cannot be a moving target. Once that information has been procured and put in front of the stakeholders, then they need to be able to render a verdict and not push back and say, I need more, because then it becomes a trap. Third factor to consider when putting a sales approval process together is time. It cannot take forever for stakeholders in that decision to render their verdict, because clients are not going to wait for you not to be busy. We understand you're all very busy, guys. It's absolutely understandable, but business needs to be happening. One easy way to make sure that this happens is to follow an old French proverb that goes like this: qui ne dit mot consent. Meaning, if you're not going to say anything within a certain length of time, then by default you said yes. That actually entices people to give you their answers in a reasonable amount of time. The fourth and final point for an efficient sales approval process is transparency. During this whole process, it needs to be transparent. Which factors are being considered? What is the information that needs to be gathered? Everything needs to be done in the clear. And then if some stakeholders say, well, we cannot take this deal because of XYZ, it needs to be explained. I find that when salespeople are being told no, but with a good explanation, they may be disappointed, of course, and we should be, right? But they will understand why this needs to be done, and finally they will say, okay, I get it, so I'm going to move to the next target.